The Pittsburgh Steelers are in a weird spot with their quarterback in week 9. It could help it. It could shut down a lot of noise. It could very much so hurt the future of the position and the chances and the outlook of Kenny Pickett. What's going on, everybody? I'm Noah Strackbein. Thank you for jumping on to Steelers to Go, your daily to-go cup of Pittsburgh Steelers news and analysis. Find us on youtube.com/allsteelerstalkers. Subscribe anywhere you get your podcast. The Pittsburgh Steelers face the Tennessee Titans week 9, Thursday night football. All eyes on two young, talented quarterbacks. And, well, there are going to be plenty of comparisons. I asked Stephen Thompson on the podcast yesterday. I said, hey, do you think that this is a game where everybody's going to talk about and compare Kenny Pickett to Will Levis? And he said, I don't know. They're two different draft classes, but we came to the understanding that they are both the next generation of quarterback in the NFL. People are going to look at them and say, oh, okay, well, Will Levis looks like he could be a baller. Will Levis looks like a guy that could lead this team to really high ceilings and maybe a Super Bowl in the future. And right now, Kenny Pickett has a major question mark on him about whether or not he's even a starter-capable quarterback in the NFL, and if the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be able to utilize this guy as the next franchise quarterback of this team moving forward. And there are major questions with that, obviously. Is it Matt Canada's fault? Is it Kenny Pickett's fault? Is it Mike Tomlin's fault? Is it Mike Sullivan, the quarterback coach? Did Kenny Pickett need more time to develop? And the problem that Mitch Trubisky just wasn't good enough, did that hurt his development and the process in doing so and getting better? So many questions. I think the big thing here is that, yeah, there will be comparisons. Right now, Will Levis is one game into his NFL career. One game. In that game, he has done so much more than Kenny Pickett has ever done. He threw for 4 touchdowns, 238 yards, 0 interceptions. And, 2 weeks ago, the Tennessee Titans were dead. They were going to trade everybody. There was no need to hang on to anybody at all because this team was over. They were going to tank. They'd rebuild in the offseason. They'd see if they could put a team together around Will Levis and see what they had in a young quarterback, and then they'd move forward from there. Coming into the game, coming into week 8, Will Levis was going to split snaps with Malik Willis, and they didn't even know who their best young quarterback was, and Malik Willis looked very bad last season in the small sample size that he was given as their starter. Leaving the game, going into week 9, Will Levis looks like a stud. He has this team fired up. There's I think, slim chance that Ryan Tannehill retains his starting job when he comes back and is healthy from an ankle injury. The Titans look alive. They look like maybe they can make a push for the playoffs, and they certainly look like they have a young quarterback that they can rely and build on who brings them plenty of excitement. Meanwhile, for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they have a young quarterback that has some serious questions that, yeah, Will Levis has thrown 4 touchdowns this season. Kenny Pickett has thrown 5. The difference is Kenny Pickett played 8 games this season or 7 games this season. Will Levis has played 1. Kenny Pickett has had 1 multiple touchdown game in his career, 20 games. Will Levis has had 1 multiple touchdown game in 1 game. Kenny Pickett currently, all-time, 12 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. There are some serious questions. And at times, you can't even put the blame on Matt Canada. You can't put the blame on Mike Tomlin because Kenny Pickett misses throws or misses wide-open receivers, or his timing is real late, or he just doesn't see somebody who everybody else sees. His reaction time is slow. There are serious questions about this kid. There are serious questions about whether or not he is the franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, or if he's going to fade out and they're going to have to look somewhere else and see what they could do. There are also believers that this guy could turn it around, and I think that those in the locker room and the coaches around him believe that Kenny Pickett has what it takes to be a starting quarterback in the NFL and a very successful one. This game, Thursday Night Football, Kenny Pickett versus Will Levis, yeah, this is a huge opportunity for him. It's also a huge, huge opportunity to take a major step backwards and to really, really stress the concern that Steelers fans have and that some analysts have, and that anybody who's a critic of Kenny Pickett has stressed and has made known up until this point. Why? Because so far this season, Kenny Pickett has played CJ Stroud, Brock Purdy, and Trevor Lawrence. Those three names will be in the NFL for a long time, and they will be starting quarterbacks in the NFL for a long time, and they will lead successful teams in the NFL for a long time. And so far in those three games, and yeah, I get it, he left at halftime of the Jacksonville Jaguars game, but so far in those three games, Kenny Pickett has watched young quarterbacks be very successful, make really nice throws, and lead their teams to dominant wins, not just wins, dominant wins over the Pittsburgh Steelers. In all three of those games, even the first half against Jacksonville, the only half that he played, Kenny Pickett has looked very bad, and he has struggled in all three of them. And it has been very alarming that other teams have guys like Brock Purdy, who isn't anything spectacular, but gets the job done and does exactly what he needs to do and makes the throws that he needs to make. CJ Stroud, who looks like a superstar already as a rookie in the NFL, and Trevor Lawrence, who's a guy that, I mean, there weren't many questions coming into the league. There aren't many questions right now. Meanwhile, Kenny Pickett, in all three of those games, Steelers fans walked away and said, man, I don't know if we have a quarterback. I don't know if Kenny Pickett could compete with these guys. I don't know if our offense could compete with these guys. I don't know if Matt Canada, if it's his fault or if it's the quarterback's fault or if it's Mike Tomlin's fault that our guys aren't fired up. I don't know. All of those questions have been asked. They have been stressed. I have gotten plenty of people in my Twitter DMs and social media DMs and emailing me and so on and so forth in the comments on YouTube. And I appreciate all of you trying to get me to stress the question to Mike Tomlin that I think has been stressed so far, and that is what's going on. Why are the Steelers having these problems but other teams aren't? I think it all comes back to the quarterback. And this is an opportunity. If Kenny Pickett goes into Thursday Night Football, balls out, wins, the Tennessee Titans, they struggle, Kenny Pickett puts on a show and the offense goes off and has one of their best performances of the season, and this is a turning point, and this is a, hey, okay, they're alive. Who cares about last week? They're now 5-3. Things look really good. There are no complaints. There's not much to say Friday morning and heading into the weekend. You lose. Will Levis looks really good. Kenny Pickett struggles with or without the rib injury. You go into the weekend, and Pittsburgh Steelers fans have Sunday and Monday to watch football games and watch young quarterbacks and watch teams succeed and say, hey, Kenny Pickett can't do that. That's a lot of pressure on Kenny Pickett, but at this point, it's all there. I want to say it's all warranted, but it's been warranted since the jump. As a young quarterback, you have more pressure on you than any position in the NFL. It just comes with the territory. Kenny's got a lot of pressure on him right now, and it continues to build the more he struggles. But to be able to walk into a weekend, and I think that any week it would build and it would be a controversy and there would be plenty of headlines and plenty of people complaining and plenty of nerves if he lost and if he struggled. But the fact that you allow these people, the fans, the media, the analysts, the radio hosts, to go into the weekend and be able to watch other teams all weekend long, 7 hours of commercial-free football, as everybody likes to tweet out on Sunday morning, and see all these young quarterbacks and watch some of them succeed, it will bring even bigger questions. It will grow the concern that Steelers fans have for Kenny Pickett. This is a huge opportunity on Thursday night in prime time, all eyes on you, to quiet a lot of noise. It's also an opportunity to make it so loud in the Pittsburgh Steelers facility and around the Pittsburgh Steelers and within Pittsburgh Steelers fans that it might be unbearable moving forward if they don't believe that they have a quarterback.